Welcome to Paint Radio with your hosts, Andrew Dwyer and Kevin Hoffman.
Heck yeah, let's do a podcast, Paint Radio, the APC podcast. What does APC stand for? It is the favorite acronym in your acronym dictionary, American Painting Contractor. I'm Andrew Dwyer. Kevin Hoffman, editor-in-chief of APC, is here. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Man, we've got a, as Ed Sullivan would say, a really big show tonight, but the topic is just a bit different. It's a bit different format, and we love different. And so this is going to be fun. We are learning about Pittsburgh Paints and what it all means and what direction the quote-unquote new company is going, and nobody better to explain that to us, to help us all understand in the paint industry what's going on with Pittsburgh Paints, than talking to the CEO and the president. So that's what we're doing. Let me welcome Brian Carson, CEO of Pittsburgh Paints. Brian, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks, Andrew and Kevin. Good to have us.
And then we also have Dennis Karnstein, president of the commercial, I assume the president of the commercial division, and also general manager of Pittsburgh Paints. Dennis, how are you?
I'm great. Nice to see you guys.
So before we dive in, some people are probably wondering what's your background? How did you lose a bet? No, I'm kidding. We kid because we care at Paint Radio. Brian, what's your background? What were you doing before you became CEO of Pittsburgh Paints?
So new to paint. Dennis is the resident expert on paint, but I was in the building products industry for 35 years. So started at a Pennsylvania-based company, Armstrong World Industries, the flooring ceiling tile company, and came up through that business and through operations. Eventually ran the operations for Armstrong. I was looking for a business to run and left and went to Mohawk Industries, carpet company, vinyl, wood, all that. And I ran the North American business for 12, 13 years. Armstrong was selling its wood business. The most well-known brand is Bruce Hardwood. That's a brand of the pros in hardwood. And American Industrial Partners, who is Pittsburgh Paints owner today, bought that business. I came back north to run that, and the business started growing. We started acquiring companies, acquired a total of 6. The 5th company we bought was actually Armstrong. So I ended up buying the business, Armstrong Flooring, wound up buying the business where I started. American Industrial Partners bought Pittsburgh Paints, after 35 years in flooring, and I thought they were wonderful partners to work with and be a new experience. I made the trip from Eastern Pennsylvania to Western Pennsylvania to head up Pittsburgh Paints, and it's just been one fantastic ride so far. It's a great team. We've had a lot of success so far, and I got Dennis on the team, which is wonderful.
Dennis, your turn. What did you do before coming to Pittsburgh Paints?
Well, like Brian said, I'm I guess an old paint guy. I started right out of college into a training program. Did the whole gamut. Everything from assistant manager, managed a store, managed the sales territory, sales manager, district manager. Then I got into marketing, ran some regions, all on the architectural side. So a lot in product development. Then I started getting into integrations and acquisitions and managed some smaller companies. And then just kept going up from there until eventually I became a general manager in some of the industrial businesses, particularly what's the OEM sector of the business. Spent a part of my career living in Europe and running Europe. Running the different coatings businesses over there. And then I retired from that company. I got into private equity, kind of similar to Brian. And I got into kind of ceramic and glass coatings, did that for a stint. And then this opportunity came up, and it was just too good to pass up, with all my experience and the leadership and working with AIP. Very exciting times. And so I joined the company here.
Nice. Well, then let's, I guess the first thing, Brian, if you could just sort of remind listeners how we got here. How did Pittsburgh Paints split off from PPG? And as of today, what connection, if any, is there between Pittsburgh Paints and PPG?
Sure. Good question. So PPG carved out or sold the North American architectural paints and coatings business, now called Pittsburgh Paints. So, we're a leader in the United States. We are very much a leader. We are the leader up in the Canadian market. And for PPG, I think that made sense for them. PPG is very much a global company, and they're in a lot of different aviation, transportation, a lot of different businesses around the world. And for them, the architectural paints business was more North American focused, and any business needs focused management, targeted investments. And I think PPG thought the U.S. architectural paints business would be better in more focused hands. American Industrial Partners and me, the opportunity I saw, I thought it was a fantastic opportunity to build back and continue to build, a 150-year architectural paint company. The business, the brand, which became kind of known as PPG, was Pittsburgh Paints, and got converted to PPG maybe 20 years ago, kind of going back to our roots again with Pittsburgh Paints.
That's awesome. Obviously, this rebrand is a big deal. What has that been like? How has that progressed? It's what has it been? 6 months, 7 months now? How have you been?
Next month it'll be 12 months. So
okay, there you go. Full year.
It's going on a year. So if you think about with the carving out of the business, there's been an enormous effort and a lot of success actually disconnecting the two companies. Think about all the information systems, the ERP systems, the CRM systems, the HR systems, all that. We are well down that path, and that'll be completely separated early next year. But the branding of a lot of our architectural paint, we still have Glidden and Olympic, and in Canada, our workhorse brands up there are Dulux and Seco, which are two leading brands up in Canada. PPG was used less in Canada, but in the United States, PPG was used, particularly in our store network and in our dealer network. That brand, we're transitioning, and just that brand, we're transitioning back to Pittsburgh Paints. And we are well down the path of that rebranding. We are going to be launching some absolutely kick-ass products here in the fourth quarter that are going to come out under that, Pittsburgh Paints anti-scuff is going to be just a phenomenal innovation. I think Dennis is going to talk about it. I probably stole his thunder, but we have a rebranding going on. But one way you draw attention to that is you bring some innovations to that, and we've just got a wonderful innovation. So far so good. We're ahead of schedule in both the separation, standing up the business, and we're not standing up the business to walk and then run. We're standing up the business and sprinting at the same time.
Nice. Dennis, let's talk about the paint. So the paint, the products, the coatings that contractors have used over the years, over the decades, are those paints the same, just under new packaging, or are there new formulations? What can you tell us?
Yeah, we're very proud of the products that we have at Pittsburgh Paints, and formerly PPG. those products are staple products, on the architectural section for sure, and those different segments where a lot of our customers count on us. So those products aren't changing. I mean, when we have staple products that have been proven over time and our customers want them and use them and rely on them, of course, those products are staying the same. We have the same manufacturing site. We have the same technical team. We have the same stores. We have the same dealers. I mean, from that business, it's really just moving it from PPG to Pittsburgh Paint, or what we call PPC.
Rather
So
than
that's-
PPG Speed Hide, it's Pittsburgh Paints Speed Hide.
Yeah. But it's the same formula, same place that we manufactured it, so everything stays the same there. The exciting part, in addition to that, is the investments that we're making, the investments in new technologies and product development. We're rejuvenating that process, like with PPG, that wasn't focused and central to their core strategy. So now under our new company, that's central and core to our business strategy. So we're investing in more technologies on the architectural side. And Brian, yes, you did take my thunder. I already talked about the anti-scuff that's coming out in November. We're really excited about it. I mean, there are products similar to that in the market, but the difference is what we're focusing on is not just the performance, and the performance of our product, the anti-scuff part of it, beats the competition. It outperforms them. But the other side of the coin is our strategy is that we're also worried about and focused on the commercial contractor, the person that applies it. So we're not just looking at how it performs on the wall. We're making products that contractors want to put on. They like the way they feel. They like the way they come off the brush and the roller. They like the ability for touch-up. They like the process of putting it on. So we want to satisfy both customers. And that's maybe a little bit different than our competitors do. But by doing that, we're servicing both sides, the performance and application. And that's really the design criteria that we have moving forward into all our new products. And, like Brian alluded to earlier, we have a lot of new other products coming out, likely in the first part of 2026. So more to come on that, a little bit of a teaser for your audience that there's more to come that we'll be introducing and rolling those out. And when we roll them out, we're rolling them out with a splash. I mean, it's, kind of rebranding our products at the same time, the different look of our labels, the different sell sheets, the different tools that our contractors can use with their customers. How are they used, and making sure they're professional and helping them sell their jobs. So what always focused on not just the performance, but also on the application of the products as well.
Nice. Brian, yeah, it sounds like you guys are ahead of schedule, and things are going great. You guys are both obviously very excited. Has there been any unexpected challenges you've encountered this year? Any kind of learnings you made along the way?
Not unexpected, but more of kind of what we expected. The markets have been challenging this year, just from demand. But if you think about it, that's really been, we're on our third year of a soft spot in the post-COVID market, and that. I would say the industry, I was in the flooring industry last year. We saw it last year in that industry where, you saw demand tail off in the back half of last year. And that's kind of continued. So that's not a unexpected. If you'd have asked me 6 months ago or 9 months ago, I would have said we would have started seeing more improvement in the back half of the year. And the industries aren't seeing that yet. But what I do know is, been in building products for 35 years. Building product cyclicals are called building product cyclicals for a reason, because they cycle. And and typically the down cycles are 18 months. This down cycle has been longer than the last 18 months, this soft patch. But all that really means is as the market cycle, as interest rates come down, consumer confidence goes up, the uncertainty around the government, all that other kind of stuff gets squared away. The new home construction is certainly underbuilt. Multifamily is underbuilt. This will cycle back up. And when it cycles, we're going to have a protracted growth cycle on the backside. So what we're doing this year, I talked about, yes, we're standing up the company and separating the company. At the same time, we're putting about $100 million into this business this year. You know, you say, well, where are you putting $100 million? All of the IT systems, the ERP system, we're putting in a new CRM system for the sales forces with the customers. All of that is getting changed this year. We've deployed tens of millions of dollars of additional inventory into our stores because we know the dealers and the contractors need now more than ever faster service, just-in-time service, because cost of capital is expensive. We've made those investments. We've made investments in our factories to retool our factories. We've made investments in these products. One of them, Dennis just talked about, the scuff product and the brand changes. And you say, well, boy, the market's pulled back. Why don't you pull back? We're actually leaning in right now. We have the wherewithal to lean in, and we know the market's going to cycle back. And what we want to make sure is that our dealers, our contractors, the architects, and those that rely on us are armed with the best products, services, inventory position, technologies, color matching technologies possible to win and get their unfair share, to outperform as the market comes back. So we've been leaning into the market this year.
Talk a bit about distribution. Obviously, contractors, I mean, yes, they care about the products, but they also care about where they can acquire the products. So when it comes to retailers, are there any changes there? Where can you continue to buy Pittsburgh Paints at all the same places they bought PPG Paints?
Absolutely. We still have the same company stores that we had before. I know there's even been rumors out there that we've closed. We haven't closed any stores, right? They're the same stores. We still have our trusted dealers that we work with. So you can get our products through our company stores and through our network of dealers. We're in a lot of different places, the same places we were before. And actually, we're working on expanding our shelf presence in a lot of these different locations when you talk about some of the bigger dealers and bigger box stores. So, but the contractors that primarily shop at a dealer or a company-owned stores, it's the same process, the same people. Obviously, we have the same products as I talked about before. And the one difference that I'd point out here, talking about investments, is we've made significant investments in our people. We brought back a lot of the training. We brought back new training. And Brian already talked about the CRM system. I mean, our goal is to be in front of more customers, add new customers to our arsenal. And that takes having the best salespeople in the industry. So we've made a significant investment in our people. We've actually gone through and trained more than half of our people on a wide variety of different things. And that includes not just, what you would expect them to hear about selling skills and things like that, but we're actually getting paint out of the bucket. And we're doing live applications, and we're showing them how the products are different from the competition and what the different features and benefits are, and talking about the value proposition of Pittsburgh Paints and why this is the right solution for many people.
I know you guys are also really making a splash in the market again, making sure people are aware of this change. I know that you were I saw your booth at the PCA residential conference, and I got to say, you guys got some fantastic people working for you there. I know you're going to also have some presences at Expo and some of the other events. What is the message to contractors, and how are you syncing that brand change into their memories?
But it's one of those things where the old new, right? So we have the old brand. I mean, people think of Pittsburgh Paint. When you say Pittsburgh Paint, you automatically think it's the same company because it used to be Pittsburgh Paint. Most people don't know. Your audience probably does, but PPG doesn't stand for Pittsburgh Paint. It's about a glass coatings company is what their heritage is from, right? So we leverage that. So we want our people to have trust and confidence that the products they're accustomed to, that they're used to, they still can get access to them. But then the new comes in, and that's where the innovation, the new technologies, the additional training aspects that we have, the additional tools that we're providing, the splash that we're making on the new products that we are introducing. We're going all in on how we're introducing products, the revitalization of our labels and the branding. I mean, you see some of the products behind us and the the literature behind me with the new P for the Pittsburgh Paint Company. So it's about just giving them confidence that the things they like are still there, and the things that we need to improve upon, we're working on those, and we're driving change in those areas that are going to help them with their business. Our messaging is really simple. We want to make them successful. We want to help them with their business. We want to be the first call when they have a problem, a question, or a concern, for them to call us and rely on us to provide them with the valuable solutions that we offer.
I
So we
saw
will
that.
we will be at the PCA Expo, and we're going to get out to try to meet as many contractors as we can. You'll see the new Pittsburgh Paints anti-scuff there. I mean, it's just it's bulletproof on the walls, and it just spreads like butter. It's just Dennis had his lab coat on, and then he had his painter's duds on, making sure it spreads and applies on the walls. And it's a really cool product. So seek us out. And as I think about, if I'm a contractor, I'm a dealer, I'm an applicator, we are really, really, really leaning into this business with investments, ideas, fresh energy, focus, speed. What I would ask is come see us, and we'll be calling on you more frequently, and lean back as we lean in. Lean back. This is 150 years we've been this business has been doing this. So you think about it, America and Canada, was literally built on our paints. In fact, the CIL brand in Canada, the name of our corporation in Canada is CIL. Not to be too historical, CIL was basically the DuPont of Canada, and the CIL brand goes back to before Canada was actually Canada. That's one of our brands up there. So we are as integral to the building of North America as anybody out there. So yes, we're a 1-year-old company, but we've got roots that go back 150 years. How cool is that? You have all that know-how with all the energy of a brand new day.
Yeah, and just one other thing I would add is that, we talk about Pittsburgh Paints, but we're also the distributor for PPG industrial coatings. So we didn't lose anything in this process. We're selling, the protective marines, some of the OEM products. We actually manufacture a fair share of them, and some we get from them under the PPG label. But they've got great products. They've got powder, they've got urethanes, they've got quick dries, they've got a lot of different products that we've leveraged. So it's really a great partnership with them. And we have other partners as well. But I mean, if you are looking for the solution, it's not just only architectural coatings, it's the industrial coatings that go along with it. So if you have a school, a hospital, an industrial facility, we can provide the solution. We have a wide breadth of products.
We have all of those. We have all those answers. Yep. All those solutions.
I love the energy. I love all the fun facts. There was reference to the PCA Expo. Obviously, that's the Painting Contractors Association, the annual convention, the Expo, which is about 4 months from now in February in Orlando. Their website is pcapainted.org. By the way, speaking of websites, I should have fact-checked this before. Is your website pittsburghpaintsco.com?
It absolutely is. Yes, it is.
You got it. You nailed it.
Yep.
Awesome. I've also seen the hashtag new name, same legacy. Is that, talk to me about that. What's that mean?
Well, it's what I was talking about before. We want the best of both worlds. We're trying to retain and capture the wonderful parts of the company. And then we're also leaning forward into what we're going to be in the future. So we understand our legacy. 150 years is a long time. And there's a lot of right things that were done along the way. So we want to make sure we retain that part of our business. But we also recognize the industry's changing. I mean, from just 35 years ago when I started, exterior oil-based paint was still a thing, right? And people are still asking for that. And it's changed with VOCs and technologies and how products are used and all the different primers that are used. So we're leaning in on innovation. We're leaning in on product solutions, and we're really excited about the future. So we want our cake and we're going to eat it too. I mean, that's really the bottom line.
I think I heard somebody reference PPC. So obviously you're going to be known as Pittsburgh Paints, or you are known as Pittsburgh Paints. Is there also a hope that PPC catches on as an acronym?
I think it's already caught on with a lot of people. Everybody's looking for the shortcut. So we'll go by either one. We're not picky that way. It's like, you have nicknames and shorter names. We'll take either ones. Both of them are great. But I think over time, I think you're going to have that PPC lingo from a lot of our customers. And I think some of them are already calling us PPC, but we'll go by either.
The cans will say Pittsburgh Paints.
Yeah.
That's
for sure.
But Dennis is right. We hear Pittsburgh Paints, we hear PPC, as long as we're providing solutions to them and they're buying from us, and we're helping each other grow, they can call us whatever they want. So
exactly. It doesn't matter what you call me as long as you call me. How about this? So I think a lot of our listeners, painting contractors, have had the pleasure to visit with PPG over the years, and thus they know, or anyone who's been in Pittsburgh knows, that PPG has a beautiful building and beautiful offices in downtown Pittsburgh, but then there's also a sprawling campus in suburban Pittsburgh in Cranberry Township. So where are the offices of Pittsburgh Paints?
So our offices are in Cranberry. So that's where our offices are now. And we've our R&D facilities and our technical and innovation facilities are about 10 miles down the road, but we're up in Cranberry. So we're not in downtown Pittsburgh. Like I said, we're our own deal. That's where Dennis and I are right now.
And I also have to think, so you guys are bringing back Pittsburgh Paint. The word Pittsburgh is now far more front and center than it was. Certainly the city officials of Pittsburgh must love that. And I'm sure you guys are being showered with Steelers season tickets and Pirates season tickets. I mean, those are easy to come by. I'm kidding. But right, the Pittsburgh City fathers and mothers must love the new name.
They don't hate it.
It's a wonderful city. And actually, Brian and I were at the
Steelers
last Sunday. We were just there. So yeah. So.
That's awesome. As we come close to wrapping up, I just wanted to give you guys a chance. Is there anything I didn't ask that we didn't talk about that you want to share, especially about those first quarter new products and innovations that you've referred to? I would love to hear you guys give us an exclusive on that.
Yeah, you're going to have to be a little patient. We're going to hold that back a little bit. So you call us again and we do this again. So, we'll have more information at that point in time. Right now we're focused on the anti-scuff, but like I said, there's a lot following.
There's more right behind it. And that is worth, the anti-scuff is worth you guys checking out, because it is a different cat than what's out in the market, and it is a better cat than what's out in the market.
Nice. Well, man, Brian and Dennis, thank you for coming on the podcast. I think this is fascinating. Certainly contractors are interested, to say the least, to see what has been happening. Of course, now we hope that everyone listens to this or finds information in other sources to see exactly what is going on, because I'm sure there's been some misinformation out there. But exciting to see what's going on, exciting to see the energy that both of you have. Like you said, any contractor who's going to be at the PCA Expo in February can lean in and talk to some wonderful representatives from Pittsburgh Paints. Then go to pittsburghpaintsco.com. That's their website to learn more. If you've got a regular Pittsburgh Paints retailer, PPG retailer, just head on back there, talk to them. They'll educate you. But Brian and Dennis, thank you so much for coming on, and good luck with everything.
Pleasure.
so
Thanks for having us, and we'll be back with you guys early next year when we have the some of the other products hitting the market. We'd be happy to do that. And you know, contractors and dealers, you're out there, you're buying from us. Thank you for your business. And if you're not, give us a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's a hell of a team.
I love a feel-good podcast, and that is what we have here today. So that's awesome. Good job. Looking forward to learning more as Pittsburgh Paints continues down the road. They're so far down the road as it is, and even more stuff, and then new products apparently coming in 2026. So it's exciting to hear. But if you know us at APC, we love the painting industry. We love what we do. As I always say, we love what you do, and that's why we're always so happy and excited. And if you are excited to learn more about becoming a better contractor, finding more happiness in your company, that's what we deliver at paintmag.com. If you didn't get the most recent issue, if you didn't get a copy of APC in your mailbox that you pulled out and you're like, holy cow, that is one gorgeous cover, and I think you know what cover I'm talking about, the one that just showed up, then you have failed to subscribe to APC Magazine. Go to paintmag.com. Your free subscription awaits, along with a lot of other resources and information. Until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.